Hello everyone. So, in last session we have started the discussion of location theories, and in that process of location theories we already have completed the very famous von Thunen's von Thunen's agricultural location model and the Weber's industrial location model. Von Thunen was a German, and almost in locational theories in geography, the initiation has been done by the von Thunen, and that tradition has been carried out by the Alfred Weber. You will find a commonality in both of them, that it happens to be the economic theory. The third theory, as far as our syllabus is concerned, as part of the syllabus you will find we have a theory of settlement, that is central place theory concept, concept given by the Walter Christoffler. Christoffler again happens to be a German. So, as a student or someone who is not having much experience in the geography, so you try to treat the central place theory as a settlement theory, but you also need to understand in the backdrop in which the Christoffler has given this idea, it's also one of the economic concept. It's also one of the economic concept. When the Christoffler he has written a book in 1933, and the title of the book was Central Places in Southern Germany. Central Places in Southern Germany. This was the year 1933 in which the Hitler, the Nazi party, the Hitler came in power, and in fact the Christoffler later joined the Nazi party and he became the part of government, and he was actively working in the related fields, works related to the urban planning. So, in the urban development and urban planning he was participated. The main interest area of the Christoffler was that how the settlement is growing, and specifically the urban settlement. Like most of the time I am sure when you will look out the India map, then you will find why some of the metropolitan cities, let's say Mumbai, let's say Delhi, let's say Chennai, why these cities are there where they are. Why not Mumbai is somewhere else? Why not Delhi is somewhere else? Or why you will have the two very big cities, that is Mumbai and Delhi, and in between there is not a very big city, very large cities. Similarly, when you will look out the pattern of your rural area, the urban area, the suburban area, you might have this thought, this feeling that why this type of settlement or why this particular settlement is being developed. Almost if you will look out, let's say 50, 60 years ago, if you will look out some of the rural area in your village, and there was a town 30 kilometer away. So, in present time also you will find there will not be much development, hardly there can be some of the new houses, new construction might have appeared, but still the town is 30 kilometer away only. So, you will not have the much new settlement is not appearing immediately. So, almost the Christoffler was also looking out. Christoffler have studied particularly the economic activity that was done in the Germany, and as I said in the earlier sessions also, the industrialization has started almost from the 18th century and initially in Britain, and then it has moved to the different part of Europe. So, when the von Thunen was writing, so von Thunen was writing in the backdrop that agriculture, almost people have started shifting from the agriculture, but still he has given a traditional concept that how to make agriculture more profitable, how to make agriculture more profitable. But when the Weber came in picture, and when the Weber has given the industrial location theory, clearly there was a shift from the agriculture to industrial activity. Most of the agricultural area, most of the agricultural field has been almost shifted, and now manufacturing centers has been set up. Now, these manufacturing centers are coming out, so over the period of time definitely more and more production, and when more and more production of the particularly goods materials will be there, so definitely there should be some places where this goods needs to be sold in the market. And also that center where the goods is being sold, obviously it will require something, something like food, grains, it requires something like for the production of steel it will require coal. So there will be lots of raw material requirement. So there will be some form of the connection between the urban area, between the industrial town and the neighboring area. So almost from the time of Weber itself, the new settlement pattern have evolved. But when the Christaller was writing, Christaller was primarily writing about that how these urban centers have grown. What is the reason behind that? What is the reason behind that? And so in a way he was simply referring to the oncoming of some important town, some important urban center, which he referred as a central place, Central place doesn't mean that it is only the urban center. Central place mostly based on some of the functionality. So you can have some higher order central place and you can have some of the lower order central places. So he has given few of the concept, and the main objective of his model, that is Christaller, to just look out that how the settlement, how urban settlement is growing, and also size and spacing among that urban, or you can say settlement. In fact, when you will look out to a very important concept, that is rank size rule and the primate city, rank size rule and primate city concept is primarily based on this concept of central place. So if you will look out the concept, if you will go through with the concept of rank size rule, if you will go through with the concept of primate city concept is given by the Mark Jefferson and the rank size rule is given by the G.K. Jeff. तो दोनों concept जब आप पढ़ेंगे, then you will find that if you will try to relate, then you can clearly find a relation between this Christaller's idea and the particularly the idea of rank size rule and primate city. But yes, rank size rule and primate city is primarily a settlement concept. But as far as this Christaller's idea is concerned, please be very clear, he is talking about the urban system. But urban system means what? He is talking about the settlement. But the settlement or urban system that is developing within the backdrop of economic activity. So please be very clear, it is a kind of economic concept. So it's a clearly part of your economic geography concept, like you will have the concept of von Thunen, concept of industrial location theory of Weber. Because if you look out the basis, because Christaller has also given a diagram. So von Thunen ने diagram बनाया. Through the diagram he has tried to show that in which area you need to do the agriculture. He has presented the model in the form of concentric ring. So through the ring he has divided the spatial area in different zone, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So what kind of agriculture you are supposed to do in zone 1, zone 2. Then came particularly your Alfred Weber. Alfred Weber have used the triangle to find out the optimum location, the profitable location of the industry, where the industry needs to be set up. Christaller has gone almost, you can say, way forward. So in spite of use, he hasn't used the triangle or he hasn't used the ring, rather than he has used hexagonal. So hexagon he has used, and in this hexagon also he has almost considered different criteria. We call it as different activities. And one very important activity, first activity was the marketing principle. Then you will have transport facilities. When you will look out the marketing, when you will look out the transport, these are what? These are purely economic activity. That is why please be very clear that there was economic approach in case of idea of the crystaller. Now, in simple, crystaller is suggesting that there will be a tendency, there will be a tendency of any particular place as a central place. Why the central place? Because in earlier concept like concept of Weber, they were focusing more that one particular center, let's say market. So in case of particularly concept of Weber, it was market. In case of particularly concept of von Thunen, also it was market. But in those concepts, they were looking out that market is something, market is one place which is dependent on the neighboring area, for the raw materials. The raw material jo hai, that will come to the market in those concepts. Here, his central place idea is not dependent on the particularly neighboring area, rather it is the central place is serving. So central place is serving to the neighboring area. So in that sense, it is very much different from those two concepts. Now, he has given the idea of central place, and in that he has considered two very important things. The concept of range of goods. Range of goods is something, let's try to understand. Most of you must be residing, most of you must be living in some places. So, be it in Delhi or be it in Karol Bagh or be it in any part of the country, let's say you are in Ahmedabad or somebody have joined from the Kolkata, whatever the area you will have, everyone, whether you are living single or you are living with your family, everyone requires a lot of things for the survival. Lot of things are, you can say, we frequently purchase. So we frequently purchase like groceries. So these are the things that we have more tendency to purchase. So if you look out the pattern, have you ever gone for purchasing milk 100 kilometer? Have you ever gone for purchasing, let's say, vegetable to 200 kilometer? You will find that no one on this earth, in general, until unless you will take some exceptions. So no one on this earth you will find that who is almost traveling for 200 kilometer for purchasing milk or for purchasing the particularly the vegetables. But let's suppose that you want to purchase a car. So if you want to purchase a car, you won't bother to travel 500 kilometer also. Might be you are from Muzaffarpur and you get to know that, let's say you are 40 kilometer away from Muzaffarpur district headquarter. तो आपका घर 40 किलोमीटर दूर है and you get to know that there is a showroom of that particular let's say brand, might be the Honda, you want to purchase a car of Honda and there is no Honda showroom in neighborhood and the only Honda showroom is in Patna. So you will not, almost there will not be any problem from your side to go to the Patna and purchase the car. So this range of good is something, means up to what distance someone, the consumer is ready to go and purchase that particular things. So it will depend upon the which order goods we are referring. So higher order goods is something which individual will have tendency to go travel for longer distance. तो अगर आपको कार परचेज करना है या आपको let's say any other luxury item you want to purchase something very niche thing, so you won't mind to travel to very far off places, Like one more example. Let's say most of you must be having this idea. Let's say you want to go for the outside for dining, for eating purpose. So if you are just having objective of just for the sake of eating, कि नहीं मुझे कुछ खाना है, so you are not supposed to travel for 40 kilometer, for 50 kilometer. आप सोचेंगे कि हमारे आसपास ही कुछ 1 किलोमीटर 2 किलोमीटर में कुछ खाने के लिए मिल जाए, and you will not be ready. But on some day, let's suppose that you wanted to find the best quality of food in your area. Let's say you wanted to go for the finding out the best hotels present in Bangalore or best hotels present in Mumbai. So obviously you won't mind of traveling 30 kilometer, 40 kilometer to find that. So because that is a higher order goods. So similarly, this concept of range of goods is based on that to what extent, to what distance the people are ready to go and find out that particular goods. The second is concept of threshold. Threshold is something let us say this is your central place. Here it is your range of good one particular thing. So people from this far, they are ready to go and purchase this. Like, but now comes the second concept, that is threshold. Let us say there is a might be you will have a brand, let us say you will have a Ford. So Ford is known for selling, let us say, luxury cars, or let us say Apple, it will be also a good example. Let us say Apple is selling phones, some other laptops and thing, and Apple product is something that is not being purchased by each and everyone, right. So Apple will set up, or it will set up some centers at one particular place based on the threshold. Threshold is something, the minimum number of customer it needed, minimum number of customer it needed for the survival. So let's suppose that threshold of Apple is 100 customer per day. So it will set up the center at that particular place where it is expecting that yes, 100 customer not visiting, 100 customer will come and they will purchase. Might be here Patna, it has set up a center, but the range of good is very far and the distance is too much that it is putting up obstruction, and hardly 10 people, 15 people are visiting there. So over the period of time, the Apple will change its setup somewhere else. The central place will not occur. So the threshold is simply the minimum number of person required to survive that business, You must have seen several times, let us say there is a grocery store in your neighborhood, right. So that grocery store is getting lots of customer. So might be somebody will think that if this person is running its business smoothly and it is having lots of customer, so why not I should also try to set up my own grocery center just near to this center. So they will set up. But if you will find that they have started getting the center customer, so obviously over the period of time they will survive. Otherwise, within the next 2-3 months you will find that establishment or that shop is getting closed. Why? It is not because of the range of good, it is because of the threshold. क्योंकि आपको बिजनेस अपना रन करने के लिए एक मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर चाहिए, और अगर कस्टमर नहीं होंगे, so obviously the business will not survive. So based on this threshold and based on this range of good, he simply suggested that over the period of time central place will emerge. Now this central place will try to serve the complementary area. So central place will try to serve the complementary area. Over the period of time, different central place will emerge. So let's say here you will have central place, this is the neighboring area. Then over the period of time, one more central place will emerge. One more central place will emerge. So every central place will try to serve the neighboring area. But ultimately the concept that is being given by the Walter, it almost expect that this central place and this central place, the area that it is serving will be unique. So they are not going to almost overlap. But in the present time or in existing world, modern time, it's a very unrealistic things. Like let's say you will have a different options. Let's say you want to purchase a tractor. So might be you are belonging to let's say some place which is 50 kilometer away from Allahabad. So you will have option to purchase the tractor from Allahabad. You can go to the Allahabad and you can purchase, but might be you will find that there is a one showroom in Lucknow, and that showroom in Lucknow is selling the tractor at much cheaper rate. So you won't mind to visiting the Lucknow and get purchase the tractor from there. Or might be you will have the Varanasi, from there you will go and you will purchase it. So in the present time period you are not having that kind of rigid structure. But what Chris Toller have expected, that one central place is only serving the unique particularly neighboring area, and neighboring area it will not be, any area will not be served by more than one central place. So central place is serving unique area, and any area will not be served by the more than one central place. And in fact, because of that only, when he considered for different services that the central place is offering, so Chris Toller have primarily considered that there are three services that is being offered by the central place. So those three services that is being offered by the central place, Chris Toller have considered like marketing. Marketing is one of the services. Then he considered the transport as one of the services, and he considered the particularly administrative activity. So he considered only these three services. Whereas when the Losch has given, the August Losch has given the concept, almost he has done the modification in the idea of the central place. So he has considered almost 150 services. So from the perspective of the services offered by the central place, obviously the Losch idea appears to be more than correct, because nowhere in the world you will find that the urban centers are only providing these three services. The number of services is definitely very low. So it's a narrow economic concept, but anyway. So he considered the marketing, transport and administrative services, and when he tried to show the particularly central places and its neighboring area, let's suppose that you are using the circles. So if you will use the circles and you are very much clear that only one neighboring any area should not be served by more than one central place, so you will end up having some area which is not being served by any particular central place. So if you will use circle, there will be some of the area, either it will be served by more than one central place, or it will be not be served by the any particular central place. And in the triangle also you will find the same kind of problem. So in the triangle also you will find the same kind of problem. So because of that, to remove that, when he has started, when he has tried to draw the geometric structure of the model, he has used hexagon. So he has used hexagon to just show that how the central place are growing, and this central place, how these central places are serving to neighboring central places. So how it was being shown, I will tell you, but before that just try to note down few of the point. Please write a paragraph. Chris Toller was interested in the spatial patterning associated with the distribution of towns and cities and the causes of those patterns. Chris Toller postulated that centralization is a governing principle of human settlement. And he refers to towns and cities, towns and cities as central places. Central places, emphasizing their functional relationship to their hinterland. Emphasizing their functional relationship to their hinterland. One more paragraph. Hinterland, Hinterland. Next point. Central places for Christaller are fundamentally understood as retail centers. That is, the places where central goods which could be either material things or intangible services are sold. Each goods or services has its own threshold or minimum level of demand needed to maintain its provision and its own range which he defined as the please write, which he defined as the distance up to which the dispersed population will still be willing to purchase a goods offered at a central place. One more paragraph. In considering central places, along with their market areas, Christaller developed a geometric model full stop. Instead of the circles of Thunen or the triangles of Weber, Christaller's geometry was one of polygons. So there are 2-3 things that you need to keep in mind, like he is simply talking about the range of goods, that is up to what distance somebody will be ready to go and purchase. The second thing is your threshold, that minimum number of customer, minimum number of things you can say needed to survive the business. And one very important thing is that the central place which is emerging, that is, it can be higher order central place, lower order central place, means he is referring that there will be hierarchical order. So, definitely the central place that will emerge, there will be some order. And in fact, from here itself we will find that both the concept of rank size and the primate city, they have been influenced by this. So, he is simply suggesting that at the same level you will not have, there must be some hierarchy, there must be some hierarchical order, be it related to the marketing, be it related to the transport, be it related to your administrative. This is the difference between the Christoffel and Losch. When the Losch has given his idea, he didn't consider that there will be some of the order. He simply considered that the central places will emerge, and over the period of time the whole urban area will divided in sectors. So, the whole area will divided into sector like rich area, city rich, and the city poor. So, the urban center will get divided into rich and poor. How he talked about different orders. Let us say here we will have one of the central place, then it will almost cover the nearby one-third distance of the neighboring hexagon. So, let us say the size of this hexagon is let us say h. So, all the hexagon of same size, all the area, all the places, complementary area is of same size. So, this particular central place, this is higher order, and below this you will have the lower order central places are emerging. So, in this manner you will have the different level of particularly hexagons he has come out. This is associated with the particularly marketing. So, for the marketing purpose, simply if you will try to understand in a very simplistic manner, so this particular central place is serving for the whole hexagon, and it is serving the next one-third of each area. So, it is simply, let us say, the size of this is h, and the size of another 6 particularly hexagon is what? 6h, but only one-third of each hexagon is being served. So, ultimately it will come out with what? It will be 3h, right? So that is why it is referred as K. K is a variable that is used by the crystaller. So K is 3. K is 3 means that there will be at first level there will be one central place. Below it you will have 3, below it you will have 9, below it you will have the 27. In this order the central places will emerge. So at the top you will have the top level, then you will have the 3 central places, below it you will have 9 central places, then below it you will have the 27 central places will emerge. And obviously higher order, inferior order central places will emerge. So this is for the marketing purpose. Now coming to the transportation purpose, so transportation purpose you will find most of the transportation purpose will be on the along some of the major routes. So on the major routes in 1933, that is the first half of the 20th century. So in that time period we were having the different modes of the transport. So we were having the faster modes of transport have been almost evolved. So it was thought that most of the neighboring area, the development will be comparatively on the transportation routes, the range of the goods will be comparatively longer, and if the range of the goods will be comparatively longer, like in this case, it can be served till here, it can be served till here, it can be served till here, it can be served on this line till here, on this particular line till here, on this line till here. So if you will look out, then almost if this is the size, total size is h, then it will be what? Almost half the size of the neighboring area is served. If you will look out this, half the size of the neighboring area, half the size of the neighboring area, half the size of the neighboring area. So almost in case of transportation facility, transport services you will find half the size of all the hexagon, that is 1/2, 6h is being served, and obviously this is the main hexagon that is being served. So you will find for the transport K is equals to 4. K equals to 4 simply means that there will be for the, this is your marketing. For transport, the K that will emerge, it will be in the order of like 1, then next level 4, then next level 16, then next level 64. In this order, the central place will emerge. In this order, the central place will emerge. Now coming to the administrative services. Administrative services is comparatively higher order services. So this is not the services, or this is not something like you would not like you will not love to go for some longer distance. So these are the higher order services, and in the higher order services every citizens don't needed to go at higher order on the daily basis. It can be managed by the almost you can say the lower order central places that will emerge, that will develop in the particularly in that process. So in case of central places, it's a very much possible that this higher order central place is capable of serving the needs of all the neighboring central places. So all the neighboring area will be served, all the neighboring complementary area will be served. So in case of administrative services, almost this central place is capable of serving all the neighboring complementary area. So in case of administrative services, so marketing is also referred as K3, transport is also referred as K4, administrative it is referred as K7. So, in this case you will have 1, 7, 49, 343, in that order the particularly central places will emerge. So, almost to just give the idea that how the central places will emerge, he just used some of the hexagons to show that how the central places will emerge. This is the simplistic form of the theory that is being given by the Kristallus. So, simply Kristallus theory is trying to find out, trying to look out that how the patterns are growing in particularly center, how some of the centers is being developing, and once the central place is developing, definitely it must be based on the some services that it is offering, some of the goods that it is offering, and how it is serving the needs of the complementary area. So, based on that, based on the functionality, over the period of time the central places will emerge. As far as the concept is concerned, obviously it is one of the locational theory, and if we will try to look out from the lenses of our geographical thoughts, then we will find the idea, all the locational theory falls in the category of your quantitative revolution. So, the approaches that were being followed in case of quantitative revolution, the same approach is being followed by all these theorists. So, like the Van Thunen and the Weber, even the Kristallus has also taken certain assumptions, and those assumptions were more or less same. Like he considered that there will be a isotropic surface. So, he considered that there will be isotropic surface, that is uniform surface, Obviously, it is not, there is no guarantee in the present time period that there will be only uniform surface. He also considered that people will behave like a economic rational man. So, people will take all the decisions in terms of profit and losses, but in real time it is not necessary that the people are taking the decisions based on only the rationality. So, sometimes let us say in the present time period might be some good food, good eateries available in the neighborhood, but you have just decided to spend some time with your friends. So, you won't mind just going for 10 kilometer to having a tea, you won't mind to have just having some snacks, visiting some 10 kilometer, 15 kilometer away places, or might be there is some emotional attachment. Let us say in urban areas or in rural areas you will find might be you have been selected as a district collector, and you have been selected as a district collector and you have visited the Lucknow as a district collector, and might be you have studied in some school of Lucknow which is 30 kilometer away from your collectorate, but still you would love to go and have a tea or some snacks in the evening or the night time. So, human behavior is very important, and human behavior cannot be said that every time it will act according to the rationality, So, this rational economic man concept has also been particularly questioned. Then the concept of that one particular central place will serve the neighboring area, will not be almost overlapping, services will not be offered. In the reality that is not possible, because nobody can draw a boundary. It is like when you will go through with the concept of biome. So, biome का जब concept पढ़ेंगे, we have the different biome, we have divided the world in different biomes, that yes, look, this is the tropical zone, this is the temperate zone, or look, this is the equatorial biome, this is savanna biome, this is steppe biome. But in the savanna biome or steppe biome, there is not there is no rigid line. Nobody has gone and constructed a wall that look, that this is the end of savanna and this is from here you should only have the particularly steppe. So, there will be some transitional zone everywhere, be it your climate, be it your human activity, be it your agriculture. There will be some transitional activity, there will be some transitional zone. Like in the present time period, when you will look out the concept like rural urban fringe. What is this rural urban fringe? You will have some of the outer side of the rural urban area where there will be some of the almost you can say in reality it's particularly administratively it is part of rural, because there will be there will be panchayat, there will be panchayat bhavans, there will be some of the agricultural activity. But because it is in the vicinity of the urban area, और अर्बन एरिया में इतनी ज़्यादा प्राइसेस हो गई हैं लैंड की, रेंट की, खाने का, रहने का, that most of the people, especially the labor class, especially the people that are you can say lower state of the society, who are working in some of the industries, they will tend to live in that particular area. And over the period of time, this rural urban the fringe area, sometimes it will develop in the form of your slums also. So most of the slum that is developing in the urban area is the resultant of that. So the point that I am trying to make you understand, that every time it is not based on the particularly some rationality. It is not based on that there will be only one central place and it will serve the all the neighboring area, and neighboring area will not be served by the more than one central place. So these are some of the criticism of this theory, and but still in lot of cases the central place theory holds truth. And whenever you will write the, first of all, as part of the three theories, personally what I am expecting that this year the higher chances of central place theory that it will be asked. Generally you will find out of these three location theory, von Thunen central place and the industrial location theory of Weber, every year there will be a question, at least a question. Sometimes you will have more than one, but at least a question, and most probably that question will be in the 15 or 20 marker. And this year I am expecting that it should be your central place theory of Kristaller. Other than this, yes, again that is why I am saying that this year it's my expectation, because they are known for this. They are known for this, that they will continuously ask 2 years Weber's concept. They will continuously ask the same particularly concept, plate tectonic theory continuously 3 years. So that is why what I am expecting, of course it can be incorrect, might be they will go for the von Thunen, but I am hopeful that they will ask, there is more chances that they will ask central place theory. The second thing is, like in case of von Thunen, I have given you some insight that how you will write the examples. Von Thunen, I have given you some of the examples, like how you will relate that agricultural activity of different places of Europe has been almost changed in the form of the trading. So mostly they are dependent on the other area, but still the gardening and all the things is being done. And in urban centers of our country, most of the urban center might be for the conventional food grain. They are dependent on some places that are very far, but still for the vegetable, still for the groceries, for the milk, dairying, they are still dependent on the area that are in vicinity. So some to certain extent you can say that is very much correct. In the case of Weber, I have given you very good examples, like you will have the maquiladoras, then you will have a classical case of emergence of China as a manufacturing hub. So similar to that, I will also give you some insights, some examples of the central place theory, which you can write, and it will be a kind of, you can say, definitely it can give you examiner. When you will write some of the examples, so examiners obviously appreciate you on two front. First of all, they will appreciate you on the front that yes, you have given the example, because they love to see that. But the second thing is, most importantly, they are not much interested to just reading the central place. They are more important to check your understanding that on the ground, are you able to see this central place or not? Are you able to see this central place or not? That how it is applicable. Let me give you an example. If you will, I am not having the exact data. But I am giving you some insights that how you will prove the idea of the Kristaller. Let's say just few days back, there was a very widespread media, almost marketing and media reporting, that there has been a new mall that is being opened in the UP's capital, that is Lucknow, that is Lulu Mall. So they are the, this is the very big brand, big group from the Arab. They are first time opening a center. So now just try to think that why the Lulus only have selected the Lucknow, why they have not selected let's say Muzaffarpur, why they have not selected let's say Ayodhya, why they have not selected let's say Madurai, why they have not selected let's say some other smaller places like Karimnagar. Why they have selected only the some of the very big city, but still why they have not selected the Mumbai, why they have not selected the particularly Delhi, that happens to be the metropolitan cities, primarily the largest town in our country where most of the luxurious people are living are Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. So this is how you need to prove the idea of central place, this is how you need to prove the, and whatever the services, whatever the services you can take. I am having a example of, there is a very famous popular brand, now it is having 2-3 centers in India also. IKEA. So it is a very famous brand which is mainly they specialize in the manufacturing of selling the particularly some of the furnitures, some of the beds, and in that segments, and they have around more than 400 stores. Just write few lines, I think it will be good first. As a case study you can use. So we have a Swedish home furnishing chain, IKEA, Swedish. It's a primarily of the Sweden. So it's a Swedish based home furnishing chain. IKEA provides a classical example of Crystaller's central place model. Set up in 1943 in Sweden, now it is having 1943 in Sweden. Presently it is having more than 400 stores and presence in the more than 50 countries. Alright, so some of the economic geographers have done the study of the IKEAs, where they are settling up their centers. So because when the business will grow, obviously the business will have tendency to set up new centers. So they have started studying about the pattern of opening of new centers, and they have concentrated on Canada. So in Canada, IKEA has opened some centers, and those centers have been studied. So a few of the centers, if you can remember and if you can write as an example, it will be helpful. Just write. I will not give you all the detail, but you can write. The first IKEA center has been opened in Canada in 1976 in the city of Vancouver. And from 1976 to 2001, another 7 centers have been opened. Toronto, Montreal, so around 8 centers have been set up. Interestingly, please write, most interestingly, all these centers have been set up in the cities, all these centers have been set up in the cities that were, happens to be one of the top 3 populous centers of top 3 populous cities of the Canada. Cities of the Canada. Now tell me, why the IKEA is only opening the centers in the most populous city of the Canada? Why not they are opening the centers in some of the suburban area? Why they are not setting the centers in the countryside? Because of particularly threshold, and because the IKEA is known for selling higher goods. Mostly they are selling almost luxury brands. So the cost of that thing, that goods is very high. So almost they have created a niche. So they have created a niche. So they are very much sure that if I will open a center, in Lucknow, and if from Delhi someone wants to purchase the IKEA's brand, so definitely they will visit, and the people won't mind in going 500 kilometer to purchase this IKEA's brand of the furniture. So the why I have given this, because to give you some insight that how you can give some examples. In our country also, like IKEA have set up the first store in Hyderabad. So they have set up the first store in Hyderabad. You can give some of the examples like that. That most of the luxury, you can take some examples of automobiles. You can take some examples of automobiles, like you will have the some places like you will have Mercedes showrooms, or new brands like this MG brand has also set up some centers in India. So you can look out the pattern. So most of these centers that is being set up, it is in one way or other, it is following the concept of the central place of Christaller. But yes, central place concept is not correct for all the cases. As I said that lot of time human decisions or human decision making will be more prevalent as compared to the rationality, So on a lot of points his theory has been criticized. Now coming to the one more thing. Question is whether the Christaller's central place theory is applicable in India or not. Whether the Christaller's theory in India is applicable or not. As far as when he suggested the three different elements, marketing, administrative and transport. In case of marketing and transport, the central place theory doesn't hold true in case of India. It is having some relevance in case of administrative at the national level. So at the national level, related to the administrative services, it is having almost, you can say, some relevance. Like in our country, you will find, when you will look out the administrative division of our country, then you will find we have the national capital, then below it you will have the state capital, then below it you will have the district headquarter, then below it you will find Tahsil, then below it you will find block, and below it you will find Panchayat. So the Christaller have suggested that there will be a 7 level, almost you will have, and the second level there will be a 7 different central places, but in our country it is a 6 only. No, that there is not, we don't consider that. Yes, in that case you can say you will have the commissionerate, then you will have district headquarter, then you will have the tehsil, then you will have thana, block, below the block you will have some panchayat, even below the, but we consider that these are the only 6 that because commissionerate system is not completely uniform throughout the country. So, lot of places we are not having that. Even in UT also this pattern is being followed. So, in place of state capital, that is UT headquarter. So, that is why we consider that in our country primarily we have the 6 levels of administrative setup, which is very similar to idea of what Chris Toller is suggesting. So, to certain extent in case of administrative setup, Chris Toller is having some relevance. Chris Toller is having some relevance. Then you will have one more name, one more person whose writing you need to know, that is August Losch. August Losch has given his idea in 1939, but the problem is that most of these Germans happens to be very writing in very cliched manner, like how we will find the Penck was very misunderstood geomorphologist. In fact, Davis have popularized his idea that is actually the idea of the L.C. King. So, similarly, his idea was not very much known to the English speaking world. So, when his translation is being done in 1954, then his idea came to light. As far as our UPSC, mostly part of UPSC syllabus is concerned, so we know just August Losch is something who is given some of the urban concept. But primarily August Losch also happens to be one of the economic geographers. So, he has given the economic concept, and in that economic concept he has almost talked about some of the urban settlement. The main difference that you need to understand, the main difference, most of the assumptions were same, The main difference between the Losch and the central place, that is Chris Toller, lies that the Chris Toller has assumed that there will be only 3 services, whereas the Losch have considered that there will be more than 150 goods and services that this central place is serving. So, it is serving almost more than 150 goods and services. Also, in all the goods and services, he has almost developed different hexagon, and for all the goods and services, all the 150 goods and services, he has developed different hexagons, and then he has rotated this hexagon. Ultimately, what came to light, that this zone is being divided in the city rich and city poor. So, it is more or less like the zone will be divided in rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor. So, something like this he was simply suggesting. So, for laws, at the same level you can have the different services that is being offered by the particularly different central places. Whereas, according to the Chris Toller, you need to have the ordered manner. So, central place is having some hierarchy, whereas in the Losch writing it was not having necessarily to have the particularly hierarchy. Just write one point, then it will be good for you. August Losch has written a very famous book titled as The Economics of Location. in his book Loss proposes to view all economic activities geographically. Next point. Like many, he was interested not only in the explaining contemporary patterns of location, but in advocating a normative view of what the world should look like. He wished to be able to determine the best location and thus improve what he called our sorry reality. What he called as, in single quotes you can write, our sorry reality. Yes, SORRY, sorry reality. All right. For the urban settlement, idea of loss was different from the crystaller. And as crystaller have only considered three services that is being provided by the central place, Loss has identified around more than 150 goods and services. He considered the individual threshold and range of good of all these goods and services and by combining the different market structures which is made up of network of hexagons, produces a landscape in which certain sectors of the landscape are characterized by many higher order centers while other sectors are characterized by relatively small order centers. Loss has identified this higher order center as a city rich, and a small order center as city poor sector. City rich and city poor sector. So, in a way you will find that ultimately only this city rich and city poor, the identification of the loss is appears to be very simplified, but in reality considering the 150 services, 150 goods and identifying the threshold, identifying the range of goods appears to be very complicated phenomena, that is why in urban geography the crystaller is more relevant. Crystaller is having more applicability because crystaller is easy to understand, but loss idea is very much complicated. Loss idea is very much complicated because even in the present time period, most of the city throughout the world, at a larger scale, yes, you can have some generalized rich and generalized poor area, but saying that this is completely rich area, this is completely poor area based on the only services, based on the only goods that it is offering is very difficult. So, you will not have that in any particular city area as a central place, you will have only completely the city rich and city poor is completely you can say visible. So, this kind of settlement is not visible almost in most of the urban center or even in some suburban center. So, the lower order and higher order, particularly central place, appears to be more correct, because he was referring that even in one particular city you will have the different central places. So, he was referring that in a city itself you can have the multiple central places, whereas the idea of crystaller is suggesting that you will have the hierarchical central places that will emerge. So, you will also you should also try to compare, try to understand in comparison the idea of the crystaller and idea of the particularly loss. So, first of all you need to understand that the for crystaller in general all the assumptions were more or less same. As far as the crystallers, when he considered that you will have the he only considered three different services, that is your marketing services, administrative services and the particularly your transport. Whereas for the loss almost he has considered more than 150 services and particularly goods. As far as the range of good, as far as the particularly threshold is considered, almost for range of good and threshold is common in case of your crystaller, and almost it is different in case of particularly loss. And based on all this threshold and the particularly your range of good, loss has identified that the whole urban place will divided in sectors, city rich, city poor. Whereas he is saying that based on this, based on the different services that is being offered and at different places, there will be a central place that will emerge, but this central place that emerge will be in the hierarchical order. Also you can say that crystallers has given very importance to the transportation, and in reality whatever the kind of development, whatever the kind of urban development you will have, transport really plays very important role, be it in case of internal development of the urban center, or you can say through the in general growth of the urbanized area. In fact, the whole of in one way or other, the China's emergence as one very big industrial manufacturing center, or in general China's growth, transportation holds very important role. So, this is about two very important concepts, that is crystallers and loss, and that is all from my side for the crest dollars and lows. We will learn few more central place concept in case of this models and theories. So, few more settlement concept we need to study, so that we will do in the next session. That's it for today. Thank you.